Hey, what is up, fellow raiders? This is Vulcan Dan, and in today's Raid Shadow Legends video, we are going to talk about this 10 times shard event this weekend. And let us call it what it is. It is a Bommal the Dreadhorn times 10 shard event, because take a look at those champions right there in that list, those legendary and epic champions. Those are, of course, all catered towards defeating Bommal the Dreadhorn. Now, of course, it is a 10 times event. We still get the base rate, 0.5% from Ancients and Void Shards, and still the 6% to get a legendary from Sacred Shards. So it is not a 2 times event. It is a 10 times chance to get these specific champions, but the rate of getting epics and legendaries remain the same. So it is not advisable in general to, of course, pull shards during a 10 times event. It is better to wait for those times too. But Plarium is saying, yeah, we know you're having a hard time with the new Doom Tower boss. Here are some champions that can help you, but we know that you don't have a lot of shards to pull, so you might want to give us more money, give us your credit card info. So that is what Plarium is doing. Of course, they want you to pay to enjoy this free-to-play game. But yeah, it is what it is. Bommal the Dreadhorn is a very difficult boss. A lot of players are very frustrated about this. And yeah, he is the most difficult Doom Tower boss. Especially, I'm able to beat all of the Doom Tower bosses myself, but I am having quite a hard time with Bommal the Dreadhorn. So yeah, Plarium knows what they're doing. They know that we don't pull shards during times 10 events. So this is their strategy to get us to finally pay some money and get those champions that we need to beat Bommal Dreadhorn. I do think that they will eventually do something to nerf the boss. I hope so. But yeah, for now we are stuck with this current version. All right, so let's take a look at these champions. So first one we have, first let's go to the Ogre tribe Void Legendary. Now we will have a times 2 Void soon, right after this times 10 shard event this weekend. So be careful about pulling Void shards if you're really desperate for a Void champion, such as Gurgo, the Ogre. He is excellent. He's known for his A2 that has a 100% chance when booked on placing freeze, and then grants an extra turn. Also removes 2 random buffs. So this is an excellent A2, and his other skills are all about placing an extra hit when there is a freeze on the enemy. He is an excellent champion for the arena. He also goes well against Bommal the Dreadhorn because of his AoE freeze to reduce the damage that you take from the Dread Bombs. But yeah, he is a decent legendary. I don't have him. I will not pull Void shards for him. I will still wait for the times 2 Void next weekend before I pull those Void shards. All right, next one we have Shermany. Shermany has this A3 that it has a 100% chance to do the AoE freeze. Also has a 3 times random hitter on her A1 that places freeze as well, because this AoE freeze is on a 5-turn cooldown when booked. If you don't have the books, of course, it's a very long cooldown at 6. So this A1 helps as well. So she's a very good freeze champion. Plus she has some nice heals, very good heals on her A2. So yeah, solid champion. I don't have her as well. But yeah, very tempting, of course, to pull during these 10 times, especially now that we're having difficulties with this new Doom Tower boss. All right, next one, let's go to the dwarves. We have Samar Gem Curse. Now, Samar is often regarded as one of the weaker legendaries in this game. He doesn't really get played a lot, but because of his passive, which blocks incoming damage and places a block damage buff on this champion for 1 turn, when they receive a hit, that would drop their HP below 30%. So this is a good passive to beat Bommal because of the block damage. And of course, he has things such as his aura that helps keep him stay alive with that more HP. And his A1 also heals himself if he is on low HP. So yeah, so it is a very long fight if you're planning to use Samar to beat Bommal, but yeah, he is one way to beat him, and Plarium knows that, and that is why Plarium is putting him out there. But other than that, he is a subpar legendary overall. All right, next one, let's take a look at this guy. I do have him, Vizier. He's well known for being a clan boss specialist, especially for his A1, a 3-hitter single target, and each hit has a 35% chance of increasing the duration of all debuffs by 1 turn. This is all debuffs. He is the only one that does this in the whole game with a 3-hitter, which is why he's the best debuff extender in the entire game. And the reason why he is good for Bommal is that you want to place some debuffs on him, such as decreased accuracy so that he doesn't land those bombs on you, and decreased attack so that those bombs deal less damage. And you don't want to keep on replacing those debuffs on the boss, because he will place more bombs on you the more debuffs you place on him. So what you want to do is place those debuffs once, and then Vizier would be the one to extend those so that you don't keep on placing, and you can of course prevent those bombs from landing on you. So if you're using him against Bommal, you might want to disable his A3, which doesn't do anything. It's just a debuff spread, and his A2 as well, although this one has a block buff so that you can block that increased attack, and he also has a decreased attack himself. But although if you're planning to use this, you might want to manual it instead, because you really want his A1 for the whole fight. So yeah, so that's what Vizier does, and of course he is an excellent clan boss champion to extend those poisons, decrease attack, weakens, all of those nice debuffs on the clan boss. Yeah, so those are the legendaries to beat Bommal in this Bommal times 10 event. Let's take a look at the epics. Void epic first. We have Exemplar. Now, Exemplar is often regarded as a meme champion, a meme epic. People don't use her. Personally, I don't think she is that bad. I don't have one built, but her kit is not that bad. I think people just give her a hard time because her face looks kind of sad. This whole aesthetic doesn't fit well with the other champions that are quite cool looking, so she just looks weak. But her skill is actually, I would say, mid-tier. It's not terrible, but she's not excellent either. Her specialty is to increase the cooldown of your enemy, but it's always single target. So her A1 does that. Places one of the target skill on full cooldown if the first hit is critical, and then it just increases the cooldown of one of the target skills by 2 turns if the first hit is critical and not under a weaken. So that's on her A1. Her A3 does the same block active skill for 2 turns, but it's also on a single target. Also places a freeze. She has this 3 times random hit with 100% chance to place weaken, so that's not bad. Of course, we would prefer it to be an AoE hit, but yeah, her kit is not terrible. So she can really prevent your enemy from performing their active skills with her A1 and A3. But yeah, being a Void epic, she should be a lot better than that. So do not pull Void shards just for her. And let's take a look at Annex right here. Annex is also one of those champs that just have a single target for all 3 of his skill, A1, A2, and A3. He does place a lot of nice debuffs, decreased defense, decreased accuracy, poison, and weaken. But I think against Bommal, these debuffs are good, but he will die a lot because he is placing a lot of those debuffs unless you are using Vizier alongside him. He is quite squishy, very low HP, low defense, very low speed. So I'm not a big fan of this champion. I think he will do well in some of the other bosses, with all of his nice debuffs. But against Bommal, I'm not too sure. Yeah, but yeah, Annex is there, all single target, kind of a mid-tier epic. All right, so let's take a look at the Shadowkin epic, we have Sachi, and they actually replace her actions here, because I think last time she was more of a crouch position, spinning her weapon, similar with one of the rares, Life Taker. So yeah, so I think they replaced their actions here, you know. All right, so let's take a look at Sachi. She is known for her AoE A1 decreased accuracy. So if you put her in a stun sets, I think she does well in Faction Wars or any other of those dungeon waves wherein you can stun a lot of the enemy champions. So her A1 is excellent. The rest of her kit is decent, just a single target A2 with leech and decreased crit rate, and this increased attack on all allies and fills the champions, or fills everyone's turn meter by 20% if this is critical. So she is decent, not the best epic for Shadowkin, but if you don't have a lot of choices, like if you're building Shadowkins for when we eventually get that Faction Wars team or Faction Wars open for Shadowkin, she can do some work there. And she is, I think, the only Shadowkin with a revive. Although her revive is kind of weird, she needs to kill an enemy before she can revive a random ally with 30% HP. Yeah, so if you need the reviver, she's currently the only one in the Shadowkin faction that has a revive. The other, or the last champion for this times 10 event is Boran. There are many videos about him online on YouTube on how to beat Bommal solo using Boran, mainly because of his passive right here. The rest of his kit doesn't help against Bommal, and you actually even want to turn off his A3 when facing Bommal because you don't want to be placing buffs on yourself. But yeah, so this champion heals himself by 50% of his max HP whenever an ally or an enemy dies. So the thing is, when those dread bombs die, that counts as an enemy dying, so he will heal by 50% of his max HP. So when there are two, he will heal by 100% of his max HP. So that will keep him alive. You put him in regen set, and he will heal for the whole fight. And that is how you beat Bommal using Boran solo. And the rest of his kit is actually excellent for Faction Wars. So he is a defense-based champion, so he will last long. He has CC on his A1 and A2, so that provoke and that stun. And he has this strengthen and shield on his A3, so he will keep your entire team alive. He will prevent the enemy team from attacking or doing their own skills. But for Bommal, it's really just this. It will take a long time to defeat the boss. But currently, you know, because of the boss's difficulty, this is one of the strategies that we have if you do have that regen gear happen to be lying around. All right, so those are the 8 champions that we have for this times 10 event this weekend. Personally, I might pull some shards, not because for the times 10, but because we do have that summon rush that we need. So we need to get fragments for Rorik Wormbane. So I'll probably pull some shards, mostly mystery shards, but I might pull some ancients because I do have some saved up. We will have the next times 2 event in a few weeks, and I think in three weeks time we will have times 2 ancient. So I don't want to pull too many of those, but mostly mystery shards. So we will see what we get. I'm not a big fan of this. It feels like Plarium is taking advantage of us, of our weaknesses, or maybe it's just, you know, a very difficult Doom Tower boss. So yeah, are you going to pull shards this times 10? I hope if you do, that you do get the legendary or the epic that you want for you know, beating Bommal the Dreadhorn. There you go. I hope you found this useful. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.